Hmm.
Hey ho, 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 hey ho. The sound of the pealing bells of St. George's Church at Hardwick Place off Temple Street just here provide a time check for Leopold Bloom during his wanderings around Dublin on the 16th of June 1904 in Joyce's great work Ulysses. But any enthusiastic Joycean comes up to Dublin on Dublin's north side here today in the hope of hearing the sound of Bloom's remote timepiece will be disappointed, because the church in fact was deconsecrated in the year 1990, and the bells rang here for the last time on the 21st of April 1990. The church building was then converted into a theatre, then into a nightclub, and finally in 2004 into offices. But sadly it remains closed today, and you can see chains and locks sealing all the entrances, which is a pity, because the interior of St. George's contain some valuable reminders of national and local city history and life, particularly in the 19th century. On my last visit there to St. George's about 10 years ago, one particularly elaborate commemorative plaque on the walls took my attention. This was a memorial in the honour of one Charles Metzler Giesecke, Knight of the Royal Order of Dannebrog, also a member of the Royal Societies of many European cities, and decorated by the crown heads of many European states. So I asked myself, who was this much decorated individual who was born in Augsburg in Germany and died here in Dublin in 1833, who lived here in George's Place, where we are located here at the moment? Well, all these honours that Giesecke was awarded relate to his activities as a mineralogist, and in particular his exploration of the mineral resources of Greenland on behalf of the Danish state for 7 years up to 1812. And the great array of minerals he brought back from these explorations of Greenland, including one new mineral, Giesekite, which is named after him. And then in a career move in 1813, he applied for a new post of Professor of Mineralogy in Dublin, advertised by the Royal Dublin Society, was successful in the competition and came here in 1814. Without, as I understand it, being able to speak hardly a word of English. But he integrated very easily into Dublin society, lived here at number 14 St. George's Place, and was regarded as a very witty and charming company in Dublin society. Leaning on his knighthood awarded by the Danish state, he anglicised his name then to Sir Charles Louis Giesecke. But changes of identity were nothing new to a man who was actually born Karl Ludwig Metzler in Augsburg in 1761, changed that name to Giesecke in 1781, and then abandoned his law studies and joined a troupe of travelling actors. He settled eventually in Vienna, had some success there as an actor, but particularly as a opera librettist. He made the acquaintance of Mozart there, and was in fact in the cast of the first production of The Magic Flute in 1791. He also made the acquaintance of the great writer and artist and politician Goethe while in Vienna, and provided introductions to Goethe for Dublin people visiting Weimar, and was providing mineral specimens and scientific readings from Dublin to Goethe up to the late 1820s. But eventually Giesecke turned his back on the theatre, got disillusioned with theatre life, and left Vienna in 1800. Under a bit of a cloud, it has to be said. He left a few bills behind for unpaid rents, and then specialised for the rest of his life in the study of mineralogy, which he had been exposed to somewhat during his years in Vienna. But he never lost his affection for Vienna, And he returned on one occasion in 1817 and encountered some of his former associates from the opera in a cafe there. And during that encounter, he made the claim that he was, in fact, the writer of the book, the libretto of The Magic Flute. And ever since then, the controversy who wrote the book of The Magic Flute has not been resolved in musical circles. A lot of musicologists believe that Giesecke did play a very big part in it because of his membership of the Company of Schickenader, at whose theatre was first produced, and also because of his reputation as a libretto writer and his membership of the Masonic Order, which he joined when he was in Vienna, and indeed had Mozart as a fellow lodge member, because the opera itself contains many sympathetic references to the rites of Freemasonry. So the next time you're passing this beautiful old Georgian church on Dublin's north side, spare a thought and a prayer for an immigrant who came here and graced Dublin society for about 20 years at the early part of the 19th century, and a man who links the city and its most favourite and famous literary son, James Joyce, with some of the giants of European culture.